Hey everybody, Mr. Odom here, and we are going to go over section 4.3. I've broken this section into two parts because we have to pay attention to a little subtlety when we're solving inequalities using multiplication and division. So this video, part one, will look very similar to what we did in chapter 3 when we solved equations using multiplication and division. And then part two, there'll be a little something you have to pay attention to. So for this video, as always, you need a pencil, composition book, or notebook paper to take notes, and a calculator. And the learning target for this video is I can solve inequalities using multiplication and division. So there's two cases for this. The first one is if you have an inequality and you're going to multiply or divide each side of the inequality by a positive number. So if you do that, then this is just like chapter 3 when we solved equations using multiplication and division. All right. If I multiply both sides of an inequality, or if I have an inequality and I want to remain true, then if I multiply one side of the inequality by a number, I have to multiply the other side of the inequality by that same number so that the inequality remains true, which is always our big deal with inequalities, is to tell the truth because it'll set you free. All right. So this works, and this just is just showing you that for multiplication and for division, when you multiply or divide an inequality by a number, one side of an inequality by a number, then you also have to do the same thing to the other side. All right, let's look at some examples. That'll be just a quick way to do this. So let's look at the first one. Put some space here so I have room to work. So number 1, n divided by 3 is less than 1. Okay, so I want to get n by itself. Right now I'm dividing by 3. So what do? Just like in chapter 3, I multiply both sides of the equation by 3. Why? Because it will cancel on this left side. It cancels the denominator, which leaves me with n all by itself, and I get 3, and we can graph that. So here's 0, here's 3 on my number line, and n is less than that, so I go up and to the left. Okay, so this less than symbol is represented here. All the solutions are represented here, all the values of n that are less than 3. All right, let's look at number 2. So that was 1. I should probably write 1. That's fine. Here's number 2. This was problem 1. So for number 2, I have negative 0.5 is less than or equal to m divided by 10. So I'm dividing by 10. The inverse operation for division is multiplication. So let me go ahead and multiply this side by 10. And then I also have to multiply this side by 10. All right, 10 times negative 0.5 should be negative 5. And this is less than or equal to, and over here, there's canceling that's going on, less than or equal to m. Or I can write it this way, which for a lot of people, it's easier to graph when the variable is on the left side. But both of these are correct. Right? And then let's go ahead and graph this one. Here is negative 5 over here. I put a circle around it. M is greater than or equal to, so the greater than piece is right there. And then the equal to piece means I shade that in to show that negative 5 is a solution. All right, so we're going to pause the video here. If you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and pause the video. And I'd like you to work out problem number 3, which is up here in your composition book. If you're watching this video in Edpuzzle, the video will pause now and you can work the problem out in your composition book. All right, so we're back. Let's see what we got. So I worked this one out down here, and what did I do? So the problem was -3 is greater than 2/3 p. And I need to get the variable all by itself. So notice the coefficient of the variable is a fraction. So I use something right here. Do you guys remember what that's called? That's right. It's called the reciprocal. So I multiply both sides by 3/2. I multiply the right side by 3/2 because there's all this canceling, and it just leaves me with p all by itself. And then over here, it just so happens this time there is no canceling. So then I just multiply numerators and denominators together, and I get -9/2. It's greater than p, or p is less than -9/2, and then I graphed it. All right, so that's how that works. Let's look at a couple more problems. Let's just look at here number 4. So number 4, I have 4 times b is greater than or equal to 2. Get b all by itself, I need to divide by 4 because I'm multiplying 4 times b right now. So I need to divide both sides by 4. That cancels on the left-hand side. I end up with b is greater than or equal to 1/2, which is the same thing as 2/4. So remember, fractions always need to be in simplest form in your answer. And then you guys, we've been graphing like crazy. You guys are probably bored watching me graph these things. You can do them quicker and neater than I can, but there's my graph. B is greater than or equal to 1/2. So for the last part of the video, I want you to go ahead and work out problems 5 and 6 in your composition book. So go ahead and pause the video if you're watching this on YouTube, and do that, please. If you are watching this in Edpuzzle, the video is going to pause now, and you can work out problems 5 and 6 in your composition book. All right, so we're back, and here is my work. Okay, so this was 12k is less than or equal to -24. I divide both sides by 12. There's my graph. Over here, -15 is less than 2.5 times q. Divide both sides by 2.5, and I end up with -6 is less than q, or q is greater than or equal to -6, and I graph it. All right, so that's it for part 1 of this video. Make sure you watch part 2. This is Mr. Odom, and hope you guys are having a good evening. I'll see you soon.